All right, so this is going to be a reading for Sagittarius. And for the Sagittarius that I'm speaking to today, I'm seeing that you're learning a very spiritual lesson about connections and relationships and what happiness means to you, what it means for you to feel fulfilled in life. And you're sort of learning this lesson through some type of ending. Um, and it could feel like this is an ending that you've experienced before, or it could just feel like it's bringing up something from your past. It could feel like you met the same people, or yeah, the same people in different bodies for a while. And there's some type of larger overarching lesson to that experience that's being illuminated for you right now. So I'm going to dive into these energies deeper in a second. But before I do, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for receiving this reading. I really appreciate the opportunity to connect with you all. And if you'd like a personal reading, I do offer personal readings. You can email me. My email is available down below in the description box. And if this reading resonates with you, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe. But let's see what we have here for you, Sagittarius. In the recent past, it looks like there was something that maybe you thought made you happy, or maybe did make you really happy, that involved other people. Maybe you had a community, a friend group, a relationship for some of you. And then it looks like something shifted pretty intensely within that structure, and you may have come out of it feeling a little bit confused emotionally, or just feeling like it was a bit more fragmented after whatever this change was. Let's take a look at that. Whatever this was that you had going on in the past, um, there could have been some type of blockage, something painful kind of took place here. And it comes from outside. It's like there was someone maybe that you were working with, or that you were trying to balance with, who did something that kind of, no matter what you did, it was like you couldn't get through to them, or you couldn't get past whatever this was. Some type of wound kind of became illuminated. There's something painful happened, and it comes through as heartbreaking for you, and sort of this experience of like, oh, I thought we were all in this together. I thought that, this was going to work out maybe a different way than it did. And it just felt like no matter what happened, you just kept running into this blockage over and over again. And it comes through as a bit of a pattern of like trying to confront or move around some type of wound or some type of pain that maybe someone else was dealing with, and it just never really got resolved. And then I see you kind of maybe feeling like, what was the point of all of this? Or feeling like, not like you wasted your time, but a lot of time had passed in this situation, or you spent a lot of time kind of in this commitment or in whatever this structure was. And it felt really disappointing when it all sort of came down, or, it felt really painful to have to face possibly what it was that was coming up over and over again here. And then I see you kind of trying to make sense of whatever the pattern was here, kind of having this realization of, okay, this is unhealthy. I think I need to move forward. And at the same time, possibly really trying to face whatever toxicity came to the front here. And this could be sort of an unhealthy pattern of your own, an unhealthy pattern of someone else's, or just unhealthy patterns in your life or in the situation that it's like you're suddenly waking up to, or they're suddenly becoming more known. Maybe something that was under the surface is coming out. And I see it being sort of overwhelming and just being like really stressful, maybe keeping you up at night and feeling at some point insurmountable. Maybe it felt like you hit rock bottom at some point. A really difficult energy to engage with. And I see you in the past sort of just trying to make your way through and kind of just doing your best to face whatever it was that was making itself known, because there was some energy here that was pretty ugly, that was really rearing its head. Let's take a look at where you are in the current energy. I do see you healing from whatever this is, possibly receiving care and healing support from someone around you, and kind of grounding, maybe grounding more in your home space, in your surroundings, creating a nice home for yourself, creating some stability for yourself. For some of you, possibly focusing on work or just focusing on nurturing connections that feel more stable to you and just really trying to ground in the energy of what you do know, what you can rely on. I see there being a healing energy around you, someone that wants to support you, possibly multiple people. Let's see what we have here. I just heard going home, so some of you could have gone home or be going home. Even if this isn't like a physical location, maybe there's a person who you have a connection with who feels like home and you're sort of returning to them, something like that. Yeah, like I said, I see you receiving support from the outside as you kind of come out of this process or come out of this situation. Um, Both physically and spiritually, there's kind of support that comes in. And that could be, again, you traveling and going someplace or someone traveling and coming to see you. But there's this energy of like reaching out for support and really receiving that support, receiving care in tangible ways. It's a very healing energy. And ultimately, it helps you sort of connect back to yourself, connect to your higher self, connect to your intuition, connect to who you are when you feel centered. And it's like almost immediately you start to begin that sort of healing process of just being cared for and having someone outside of yourself give you an energy that was, I think, much needed here. Um, yeah, I definitely see you kind of dealing with this ending and this pain. There could be some betrayal that happened. It's very intense, the feeling of pain, and it almost like stops you in your tracks is sort of how it comes through. It feels very difficult. It could have really shaken your sense of stability or your sense of place in the world, or just where you fit within community, within society, within other people. It affected your heart space really deeply. I do see you kind of trying to open up um, and kind of discuss maybe with other people. There's a feeling of really resting the part of yourself that can be kind of hard on yourself in a way. It could have felt like for a while you were kind of distanced from yourself or far away from that place where we connect with ourselves on the highest level. Um, the energy of sort of self care and caring for yourself and just feeling cared for, giving and receiving love in a way that felt honest and authentic to who you are. You could have felt really cut off from that, really stuck in your head. You could have felt really separate from yourself as you kind of worked through this situation. And I see you kind of licking those wounds, healing that kind of energy and trying to focus on yourself. But also, there's this way that even as you're resting, you're sort of like undoing maybe some negative beliefs that someone else gave you. Maybe someone said something to you that really shifted how you see yourself. Someone kind of got in your head, or something kind of got in your head, and it again took you away from yourself. And there was a point where maybe you kind of struggled to truly value yourself or care for yourself or trust yourself. And I see you through healing and just resting and just kind of taking a time out, starting to confront some of those limiting beliefs and kind of reparent yourself, I'm hearing, or speak to yourself in a different way. Something about the way you speak or like the words that you say could be really significant, especially the way you speak to yourself and how you value yourself. And I see you sort of stepping away from some type of really toxic, harsh energy that kind of got under your skin. And it's like as soon as you do that, you start to sort of click back into place. Now, as you click into place here, I see you sort of manifesting a connection for yourself that is pretty exciting, that kind of lights you up and makes you want to get sort of active again and put in the work. Let's take a look at that here in the near future. You're manifesting something here, but even as you're manifesting it, I see you kind of not sure if it's really going to come through, or not really sure if it's going to reach that next level in your manifestation process because maybe you're in this pause. But I see the pause that you're in being so that you can heal. Like there's this sort of gap in time where you're actually just meant to rest, but to you it's going to feel like nothing's really happening, and then you're going to kind of question like, am I moving in the right direction? Am I manifesting anything? And you are manifesting something actually quite specific. I just see you might not be entirely aware of what it is you're manifesting because it hasn't come through yet. And it's sort of like the missing puzzle piece here is you connecting back to yourself, getting more in touch with yourself, in order to let that key kind of click into place and unlock the door to this manifestation. Once you do connect back to yourself, I see that being the point at which you're able to fully show up to another. It's sort of like if you can think of like you have your cup and then someone else has their cup, and you're meant to sort of bring your cups together, but your cup has a crack in it and it's kind of leaking this water or this emotion or whatever it is you're carrying in your cup. It's kind of leaking. And you're sort of rushing to make it to this other person. You're like, I gotta bring them my cup. But because there's a leak and because you're rushing, more falls out of it, you're spilling everywhere, and then you're rushing, your energy's kind of fragmented. And I actually sort of see you healing your cup, healing your heart space, healing that sort of crack in the foundation so that you can show up to the energies that come to meet you from a place of balance. You're not really going to see this coming as long as your energy isn't aligned. As long as you have this crack in your cup, you're not going to be able to align with this energy. Like literally, you're going to be running all over the place. You're going to be spilling everywhere. There's going to be that fragmentation. And it's like you're not going to see what you're manifesting, and the energy that you take to that manifestation is going to be a lot more difficult here. There could be fears that show up. It's like your heart is literally in these different pieces after whatever it is that you went through. And so you're kind of in this place of deep healing and reassembling yourself, and that requires sort of a lot of stillness and self-acceptance and self-love, and just like rebuilding your cup, pouring into your own cup. And that could take, as long as it takes. There's no set time limit on it. And you could be kind of like, well, where's the next thing? Like, where's my manifestation? Is this thing coming in? And it is coming in. It's just like you need to take this time right now. And that's part of the lesson that you're learning. And about sort of connections in general is the work that goes into them isn't even so much work that you put into the other people, but actually work that you put into yourself about how am I showing up to these connections? What am I bringing to the table? And not even in a transactional way of, do I have this, and this to offer? But more, am I in a good place to offer anything to begin with? Because if you're sort of rushing ahead, and being like, well, it doesn't matter if I have a crack in my cup, and it doesn't matter what's in my cup, and it doesn't matter how I'm doing, you're actually sort of not showing up honestly as yourself. And so there's something here about taking the time and having the determination to heal your own heart, and to give yourself love, and to take the time that you need, and know that everything's going to fall into place. You're not going to miss out on anything. You're not going to, be in this break forever. You're just healing what needs to be healed. And that's part of the process. And it's also part of the lesson is, are you putting in that effort, or are you speeding through the process? So that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. I hope that this helps. I hope that this resonates, and I'll see you next time.